Good morning all. So today we are going to discuss about the end part of angle modulation. In last class we have discussed about the NBFM, WFM and how that NBFM signal is generated, WBFM how it is generated, and we have also seen the different sort of modulation technique for MFM and how we are going to detect all those FM signal. Okay. So directly the FM signal cannot be demodulated to the AM signal. That also we have seen with the help of that balance demodulator. Okay, and frequency discriminator what we have seen, as well as phase lock loop also we have seen. How we can extract the modulating signal from the modulated FM signal what we have received at the receiver end. Now the thing what we have left, it is the numericals related to the WBFM, NBFM and the FM generation with the help of your direct method or indirect method, that we will discuss in this particular class. So here it is basically problem solving class. Okay, so it is a problem solving. So in this class we are going to discuss about the numericals related to NBFM, related to WBFM, how that NBFM is converted to WBFM signal, how with the help of vector diode the FM signal is generated, and what is the Armstrong method through which NBFM signal can be generated to a WBFM signal. Okay, so one by one we will start. So first we will take up one numerical as a question. So first question is a sinusoid signal, 1 minute. Okay. So this will be our first question in which FM modulated signal are going to be transmitted with the help of a carrier and modulating signal. So let's see. So first it is given a sinusoid signal of 20 volt 2 megahertz. Now in this question you can see there are two potentials are there, 20 and 10, and two frequencies are there, 2 megahertz and 50 kilohertz. So which will be the maximum frequency? That will be your carrier component. Okay. So here I have written in the bracket, it is called as a carrier signal whose amplitude is 20 volts and frequency is 2 megahertz. Is frequency modulated by a sinusoidal message signal of 10 volt 50 kilohertz. Okay, with frequency sensitivity which is given, kf is equal to 25 kilohertz per volt. Okay, so these are the informations are given. Now here what happens, first the message signal enters, okay, to the frequency modulator in which carrier component is also there, C of t. Here message signal strength is 10 volt, comma 50 kilohertz, and carrier component strength is 20 volt 2 megahertz. Okay, and it will generate the FM signal. Okay, so this is our the basic information what we have gathered from this particular question. Okay, now here what we need to determine. So determine del f, beta, bandwidth and power. Okay, so it is quite simple. So how we will identify this del f, beta, bandwidth and power? So power content in FM signal, as we know that it will depend upon the carrier amplitude. That's it. But it depends upon the beta also. If it is a narrowband signal or narrowband FM signal, then we have to consider beta terms. If it is a WBFM signal, then we need not to worry about that beta. It is independent of beta component. Okay. Now here, first of all, we have to check our beta value is greater than 1 or less than 1. If it is greater than 1, the power is only depend upon the carrier component. But if it is less than 1, that means your power will depend upon your modulation index. So if beta is less than 1, then I will say it is called NBFM and beta is greater than 1, then I will say it is called WB-FM signal. So for this we need to determine certain things. Okay. So as it is given, FM is equals to 50 kilohertz, FC is equals to 2 megahertz. Now we have to determine what frequency deviation. Now what is this frequency deviation? This frequency deviation is the maximum value of kf into m of t or kf into vm, because this value I will write kf into m of t. This is the magnitude. So what is the magnitude of message component? That is vm. And what is kf? Kf as it is given is 25 kilohertz. So here I will write 25 kilohertz per volt. And what is the vm? Vm is our 10. So that means it is 250 kilohertz. So this will be my frequency deviation. Now if del f is equals to this, then what will be our modulated signal frequency? Because with the help of that we can determine our modulation index. So as we had a relation instantaneous frequency fc plus del f. So fc plus del f means fc is how much? 2 megahertz and del f is how much? 250 kilohertz. Okay, so here I can write it is 2000 kilohertz plus 250 kilohertz, which will be equal to 2250 kilohertz. So this will be my instantaneous frequency. This will be my modulated frequency of an FM signal, because in FM frequency is going to change, amplitude remains as it is. So these are the certain steps through which we can determine the values. Okay. So first we have determined what is our modulating frequency, that is our 50 kilohertz. What is our carrier? It is 2 megahertz. What is our del f? Del f we know that it is multiplication of frequency sensitivity with m of t. So frequency sensitivity into Vm is nothing but your del f. So here it is del f. What is your instantaneous frequency? Instantaneous frequency is 2250 kilohertz. Okay. Now next thing we need to determine what is our modulation index, because depend upon that modulation index we are going to decide how to proceed for the bandwidth and the power content. Okay. Now let's see. So bandwidth, this modulation index is also written as beta or mf. Okay. Because for frequency modulation you can write mf, for phase modulation you can write mp. Now what is beta? Beta is nothing but del f by fm. Okay. So what is the frequency deviation? Frequency deviation is 250 kilohertz. And what is the FM? FM is 50 kilohertz. So that means if I will solve this, I will get 5. So that means what it indicates? The beta value is 5. And what it is? It comes under this particular category. So that means beta is greater than 1. That means whatever the signal we are generating, it is called WBFM signal. Now if it is a WBFM signal, the power content as it is given, it is only depend upon the power available in carrier. If this beta is less than 1, the derivation we have done, if beta is less than 1, that means we have to consider the beta component while calculating the power of an FM signal. Okay. Now beta is known, beta is equals to 5. Next we have to determine the bandwidth. So bandwidth of this FM signal, how we are going to calculate? Since it is a WBFM, there is a formula called Carson's rule. With the help of that Carson's rule, we can determine the bandwidth bandwidth of WBFM signal. How? Let's see. Now in WBFM signal, we have seen if it is a first order, your bandwidth is equal to 2FM. That we have seen. First order. Then if it is a second order, your bandwidth is twice into 2FM. This also we have seen. If it is third order, your bandwidth is equal to 3 into 2FM. Okay. So like that, if there are nth order, it will become as n into 2FM. So 2FM is the first order bandwidth. If we are determining second order, multiply 2. If it is third order, multiply 3. If it is fourth order, multiply 4. Now what it indicates? This is nothing but a scale factor. Okay. So this is nothing but a scale factor. So here the Carson is a scientist who gave his rule to determine the bandwidth of WBFM signal. He states that the bandwidth is equals to beta plus 1 into 2FM, because this beta plus 1 will identify the orders. Let us consider if beta is 0. So that means your bandwidth will become as a 2FM. If beta value is 1, that means it will become as a 2 into 2FM. If beta value is 3 or 2, then it will become as a third order. Similarly, if beta value is 3, then it will become as a fourth order. So this particular factor indicates the identification of the order of a WBFM signal. Now this I can resolve by substituting del F by Fm plus 1 into 2FM. If you take this Fm upper side, you will get twice of del F plus Fm. And this Fm will be cancelled out. So this will be the bandwidth of FM signal if beta value is greater than 1. Okay? If beta value is greater than 1. If it is less than 1, your bandwidth will become as 2FM. No need to worry, because it is same as your AM signal. But if it is WBFM, your bandwidth will become as a twice of del F plus Fm. Okay? Now I will substitute this beta value to determine the bandwidth. So for this case, the bandwidth of Fm for beta is equals to 5, because here we have determined beta is equals to 5. So what I will write? Beta plus 1 into 2FM. Either you can go for this relation or either you can go for this relation. Resultant will be same. So it is 6 into 2 into Fm. So it is 12 into Fm. So Fm is how much? Fm is 50. So 50 into 12 is 6. 50 into 12 means 12 into 5 is 60. So 600 kilohertz. So 600 kilohertz. So this will be my resultant bandwidth. Okay. So this is the bandwidth of this FM signal. Okay. Done. Now we will calculate the power. Now since it is a WBFM signal, it is a WBFM signal, because beta value is 5, which is greater than 1, your power content or transmitted power is equal to AC square by 2R. But if it is NBFM, if beta value is less than 1, in that case, if beta is less than 1, in that case it is BC into 1 plus beta square divided by 2. Like this we can write. Okay. Since it is beta greater than 1, we will not go for this relation. This is for NBFM. We are discussing about WBFM signal. So here AC is how much? 20 into 20 square divided by 2 into 1. Here R value is not given, consider R as 1. So it is, how much it will be? This is 10 and this is 200 watt. Okay. So this will be our transmitted power. Done. So like this you have to determine for the next question in which the message amplitude is double. Same method. Only the thing is you have to determine the del f. In that del f, kf into vf, what you are going to substitute, it will increase the value. Initially it is, we have considered 10 volt. Now in the second case, it will become as a 20 volt. Now if the amplitude is 20 volt, what are the parameters you are going to determine is the same question what it is asked here. The same parameters we are going to determine if the amplitude is of a modulating signal is doubled. Okay, so one by one we will see. Now bit B, if Vm dash is equals to Vm, this is the new potential of a message signal. Now it will become as a 2 into 10, 20 volt. Okay, step by step again once again. So what is del f? So del f is equals to kf into Vm dash. So kf is 25 into Vm dash is 20, you will get 500 kilohertz. Okay. Then find out modulation index. So del f divided by Fm. So del f is how much? 500 divided by Fm is how much? Fm is 50. So that means again it is 10. So that means it indicates beta is again greater than 1. So if beta is greater than 1 means it is a WBFM signal. Okay, so beta is good. Next, bandwidth we have to determine for WBFM signal. So how we are going to determine? Twice FM whole into beta plus 1. So 2 into FM is 50 kilohertz, beta is 10, it is 11. So it is 100 and 1100 kilohertz. So this will be my bandwidth. Then next, what is the power content? Now power content or power transmitted must be equal to carrier power because it is a WBFM. So it is AC square divided by 2R. So again it is 20 into 20 divided by 2 into 1. So it is 200 watt. Now what is the basic difference happened in the previous question and this? If the amplitude of a modulating signal increases, the transmitted power won't hamper because transmitted power depends upon the carrier component. Done. Second, the frequency deviation is going to change because amplitude of a modulating signal is changing means frequency deviation is directly proportional, so that will change. If del f is changing, your beta is also going to change because it is directly proportional. Beta is also changing. Now, in order to determine the bandwidth also depends upon beta and beta depends upon del f. So, if these values are changed, that means your bandwidth is also going to change. As you can see, it is 1100 kilohertz, beta is 10 and the del f is 500 kilohertz. But the thing is what? The transmitted power won't hamper because transmitted power depends upon the carrier component, won't depend upon the modulating signal amplitude. Okay. So like this question, it will come in your internals as well as in final exam. Be prepared with it. Okay. Next question we will discuss. Okay, this is our next question. So here, as it is given, two components, one is carrier, one is modulating signal. So as for the question, the carrier is having amplitude phi, cos of 2 pi into 10 to the power 6t, and message component is having amplitude 1 cos of 4 pi into 10 to the power 3 into t. Okay, so carrier and modulating signal is provided. Now here we are going to discuss 2 points. Point A, if C of t and M of t are given to an AM generator, first, what will be our bandwidth and power if my modulation index is 0.707? It is quite easy. It is a question related to the AM. So what I will do? First, I will analyze the AM modulator. Okay, so AM modulator. Here M of t and here carrier component C of t is given from the local oscillator, and I am getting S suffix AM of t. Now as it is given, the modulating signal is cos of 4 pi into 10 to the power 3t. From this we can determine FM. Okay, FM is what? Omega m divided by 2 pi. So that means it is 2 into 10 to the power 3, or I can say it is 2 kilohertz. Done. Next, here it is given modulation index is 0.707 as it is specified in this question. Here we have to determine the bandwidth and power. So bandwidth, as we know in AM, is nothing but twice of maximum frequency available in the modulating signal. Okay, so what is the maximum frequency available in the modulating signal? Is 2 kilohertz. So it is 2 kilohertz. So bandwidth will become as a 4 kilohertz. Done. Next we have to determine the power. So power transmitted PC 1 plus MA square divided by 2. So this is my AM transmitted power. So what is PC? PC is nothing but AC square divided by 2R. 1 plus MA. MA is how much? 0.707. So it is 0.707 whole square divided by 2. AC is how much? Amplitude of a carrier is 5. So it is 25 divided by 2 whole into 1 plus 0.707 whole square divided by 2. Okay, so if you solve this, your transmitted power will become 125 divided by 8 watt. Okay, so this is your first one, A, because it is asking about AM signal. Over. Next, in the next question, C of t and M of t are used to generate FM signal. Now in place of AM modulator, you need to analyze that modulating signal is provided with the frequency modulator. Okay, frequency modulator, in which local oscillator provides C of t. This is my message signal and this is my FM signal. Done. With maximum frequency deviation. With maximum frequency deviation, which is 3 times the bandwidth of AM. So now, in this frequency modulation, we have frequency deviation. As per the question it is given, it is 3 times the bandwidth of AM signal. So 3 times of bandwidth of AM signal means, what is the bandwidth of AM signal? Is 4 kilohertz. So here it will be 4. So now the bandwidth or the frequency deviation will become 12 kilohertz, because as per the question it is 3 times the bandwidth of AM signal. Next, we have to determine the coefficient of cos of 2 pi into 1016 into 10 to the power 3t in FM expression. In FM expression means, if I will, I have to identify whether it is a WBFM signal or it is a narrow band FM signal. Then only I can decide the equation for FM signal. Now, as per this, the modulation index del F by FM. So del F is 2 kilohertz. FM how much it is? It is 2 kilohertz. Del F is 12 kilohertz. That means beta is 6. So that means beta is 6 means here I can say beta is greater than 1. That means it is WBFM signal. Okay. Now for WBFM signal, what is the expression? When we are writing the WBFM signal, we used to include the Bessel functions. That also I have discussed in the last class. As well as we have represented the frequency spectrum for the WBFM signal. For that, let us consider S suffix WBFM of T, which is equals to N is equals to minus infinity to infinity AC J suffix N of beta cos of Fc plus NF of T. Like this I can write cos of 2 pi here I can write cos of 2 pi Fc plus NF into T. So this is my general equation for FM signal, for WBFM signal. Now, as it is given, you have to find out the coefficient, means you have to find out the Jn of beta, what it is. And cos of 2 pi into 1016 into 10 to the power 3 into t. So that means this whole term I need to equate with respect to this whole term. First I need to determine the coefficient of n. Then I need to substitute the value and then I will represent what is the coefficient. Okay. So step by step we will see. If I will equate this component with respect to this. Okay. So 2 pi you take outside. Inside we have left with Fc plus NF n into it is Fn, which is equals to 1016 into 10 to the power 3, means kilohertz. So here I will write 1016 kilohertz. Now n into Fm is equals to 1016 minus Fc. So what is my Fc? Here you can see Fc is 10 to the power 6 because cos of 2 pi into 10 to the power 6 means it is 1000 kilohertz. Okay. So if I will subtract 16 kilohertz I will get, and n is equals to 16 by Fm. So Fm is how much? Fm is 2 kilohertz as it is written 2 kilohertz. So 16 by 2 is equals to 8. So that means nth order or the nth component for this particular coefficient is 8. Done. Now we need to identify this coefficient, because he is asking about this coefficient. This particular equation we have equated for this. So that means this particular coefficient is for whom? For the n is equals to 8, because here we have identified n is equals to 8. Now here n is equals to 8. So how I will write the coefficient? So the coefficient is AC Jn of beta. Okay. So AC is how much? What is the amplitude of your carrier? Amplitude of the carrier is 5. So 5 I have written. What is the value of n? N is 8. That also I have written. What is the value of beta? beta value is 6. So this is the coefficient for this particular term. If these sort of questions are coming, you need to remember what is the equation of WBFM signal. But how do we know whether it is a WBFM or NBFM? First you need to calculate this modulation index. If your modulation index is greater than 1, you have to proceed with WBFM. If it is modulation index is less than 1, that means you have to proceed with respect to NBFM equations. Okay. So this is the context through which we can analyze both AM with respect to WBFM signal. Next question. So this is the third question. So we'll see what it is. So as the question is given, a sinusoidal carrier of frequency FC means carrier frequency, which is used for both AM and FM. Means a carrier component is both used for AM and FM generation. Transmitter signal. Message signal frequency is given as 5 kHz with maximum frequency deviation. If I am using the FM transmitter in which the frequency deviation is twice the bandwidth of AM signal. This is also one hint is given in this question. Find modulation index for both AM and FM signal such that the strength of the frequency component means this one. This is the strength, means the frequency component when it is FC plus 5 kHz. The strength means the potential available in this particular frequency will be same for both AM and FM. Is same for both AM and FM spectrum. And these are the Bessel functions are given for 0th order, 1st order, 2nd order, 3rd order, as it is united. Maximally it is represented in a 1st order. And in bracket, these all are modulation index. J of 0, J1 of 2, J1 of 4, J1 of 8. These all are modulation index. Means in bracket what it is, in all are modulation index. For 1st order, if it is beta is 0, means value is 1. 1st order, if the beta value is 2, then the value is 0.57. For this 1st order, if the value of beta is 4, then it is 0.37. Similarly, if the value of beta is 8 for the 1st order, then it is 0.08. Using this particular thing, we need to proceed, we need to identify the modulation index for AM and FM. How to proceed? First we will analyze the modulator. Here I am not writing whether it is AM or FM. So here my modulating signal, here my carrier component, and here I will get modulated signal. Modulated signal. If this modulator is AM, that means I will get S suffix AM of t. Okay. If this modulator is FM modulator, then I will get FM signal. Okay. Now, what are the things are given? Here it is given modulating signal frequency is 5 kHz. This is the modulating signal frequency. And what else is given? The frequency deviation, maximum frequency deviation is twice the bandwidth of AM signal. Okay. So first of all, I need to identify what is the bandwidth of AM signal. So bandwidth of AM signal is equals to twice the maximum frequency available in the modulating signal. So what is the frequency available? It is 5 kHz. So that means I will get 10 kHz. Okay. If bandwidth of AM is 10 kHz, then your frequency deviation will become 20 kHz. Because the bandwidth of AM is 10, substitute here, you will get maximum frequency deviation 20 kHz. Next we have to identify the modulation index for both AM and FM. So modulation index for AM is MA and modulation index for FM is beta. Then how to calculate this particular factor? Another one more hint is given that the strength of the frequency component Fc plus 5 kilohertz is same as both the AM and FM. So if it is same, how to determine it? So first of all we need to calculate the beta. Then we can calculate modulation index of AM. So beta, as we know, frequency deviation by the modulating signal frequency. So what is the frequency deviation? The frequency deviation is 20 kHz. What is the modulating signal frequency? Modulating signal frequency is 5 kHz. So that means your beta is equals to 4. Okay? So that means beta is greater than 1 and the FM signal is WBFM signal. For this reason, this Bessel function coefficients are given. For this particular reason, because here beta is greater than 1 means again the Bessel function will come into picture. Now, next we have to see, we have to identify the modulation index for AM. This is modulation index for FM that we have determined how much it is 4. Now here one more hint is given at this particular component Fc plus this one. Okay. So for this I will plot the frequency spectrum so that people can understand. This is your Fc. Okay. This is your Fc plus FM. And here this is also Fc plus FM. Fc minus FM for AM signal. This is AM. Amplitude of the side bands are same. Now how much it is? It is AC by 2. It is AC MA by 4. Okay. It is AC MA by 4. These are the amplitude for AM signal. Now here, what is our FM signal? Modulating signal frequency is 5 kHz. That means here I will write Fc plus 5 kHz and here I will write Fc minus 5 kHz. Done? So this is the spectrum for AM. Okay. Next we will represent the spectrum for FM. Now when we are representing in terms of FM, and that to be a WBFM because beta is greater than 1 and here it is only one frequency is given means first order component is given. So in that case you can see if this is Fc, your amplitude is AC by 2. Okay, and this is the first upper segment Fc plus 5 kHz and here it is Fc minus 5 kHz. Okay, but what will be the strength? AC J1 beta divided by 2 and AC J minus 1 of beta divided by 2. And the Bessel function is having a property that for the same component, if it is in negative, the amplitude will go down. So that means here I will write that property J minus 1 of beta is equals to minus J1 of beta. This is the property. So if I am using this property, the amplitude of this component will go down. So that is the difference between AM spectrum and FM spectrum. In AM spectrum, the amplitude of the upper sideband and lower sideband are same, means positive. But when we are dealing with this NBFM or WBFM, the amplitude of this spectrum will go down. That means odd number of position of a frequency components are negative in the left hand side and positive will be the right hand side. So here I am representing this component as minus AC J1 of beta divided by 2. Okay, so this is for WBFM first order and this is for AM signal. Now as per the given question that the position of the modulated signal FC plus FM. Now FC plus FM, the strength of this AM and FM both are same as it is written. The frequency component FC plus 5 kHz is same for both AM and FM. So what I will do? The strength of this is equal to strength of this for that particular position. So at FC plus 5 kHz, AM amplitude is AC MA by 4, and what is the amplitude available in WBFM? It is AC J1 of beta divided by 2. Okay, so this AC will be cancelled out. So MA is equals to 4 times of J1 of beta divided by 2. So this 4, it will become twice J1 of beta. Now in this case, what is the value of beta? The beta value we have determined as 4. Okay, so here I will write J1 of 4, and here the values are given. J1 of 0 is 1, J1 of 2 is 0.57, J1 of 4 is 0.37. So here I will use 0.37. So what is my modulation index? Modulation index is twice of 0.37. So this is 4, this is 6, 7, 0.74. Because 2 into 7 is 14, that is 4. 2 into 3 is 6 plus 1, that is 7. So it is modulation index is 0.74. So like this question may come in your final year exam. Okay, final terms. So go through this numericals, these are quite easy. Only need to identify the spectrums, position of the spectrum, what will be the amplitude, equate it, find out the modulation index. Okay. So this is one question in which a sinusoid carrier is frequency modulated by a sinusoid message signal of frequency n, and amplitude is Vm. Okay. Conducting an experiment. Now, whenever this sort of question, always remember that if it is given in terms of n times of modulating frequency, that means blindly you decide that it is discussing about the WBM FM signal. Okay. So considering an experiment with FM is 1 kHz and increasing from Vn, that is from 0 to 2 volt. Okay. So when I am supplying a particular modulating signal to a modulator, its frequency is 1 kHz, and from the initial potential when I am increasing the modulating signal, initial potential is 0 volt. Okay. Next, it is observed that the strength of the carrier frequency component in spectrum becomes 0 for the first time, and with Vm is equals to 2 volt. So that means your modulating signal, here the question states that the modulating signal having a frequency component 1 kHz and whose amplitude is varied from 0 to 2 volt. Okay. Now when we are identifying the first point for a particular FM signal, okay, first point, second order, first order, second order. So first order, when it is identifying for the first time, the spectrum amplitude is 0, it is saying. Okay, and he was saying that when it is from 0 to 2 volt, 2 volt means second point or the second order, what will be my KF and what will be my Vm for the second time if these components are given. Now here J naught of beta is equals to 0 is given. That means it is the first value. Now beta first value is beta is equals to 2.4, beta 1. Then beta 2 is 5.5, beta 3 is 8.6 and beta 4 is 11.8. These are the information is given. Now here I need to determine what will be my first position frequency sensitivity. Now as we know that in WDF the spectrums are FC, FC plus FM, and here it is FC minus FM, and the amplitude is, this is AC by 2, it is AC J1 beta divided by 2, and here it is minus AC J1 beta divided by 2. This is the first order. Now we have to identify frequency sensitivity. Done. So for this frequency sensitivity, I need to identify first what will be my modulation index, because this frequency sensitivity depend upon modulation index. So for first I am writing beta 1 kf into Vm1 divided by FM. Okay. Now here you can see that beta 1 value is how much? 2.4. Okay. Kf is unknown. What is Vm1? Vm1 means what is the maximum value available in our modulating signal, because we are discussing about beta 1 means at this particular point the amplitude of modulating signal is 2 volt as it is written. For the first time Vm is equals to 2 volt. So Vm1 is 2 volt. What is my modulating signal frequency? My modulating signal frequency is 1 kilohertz. So from this I can determine Kf is equals to 2.4 divided by 2, that is equals to 1.2. So Kf is equals to 1.2 kilohertz per volt. Done. So this is the frequency sensitivity for the first kind, means for the first time when your Vm is equals to 2 volt. Okay. Next we have to determine what will be the Vm for the second time. Always remember that your Kf is not going to change throughout the system, because Kf is the frequency sensitivity for a frequency modulator. Okay. Now as Kf is 1.2 kilohertz per volt. This is the answer we have got from this particular relation. Now we need to identify what will be the Vm for the second kind. So again I will write beta is equals to Kf Vm2 divided by Fm. Now here what we have to identify? Here we have to identify is Vm2. Now what is beta 2? Beta 2 is 5.5. So Vm2 is equals to 5.5 into 1 divided by 1.2, or I can write 55 divided by 12, because 0.1 will be cancelled out. So resultant you will get around 4.8 volt. So this is my second amplitude for beta 2. As it is given, what will be the Vm for the second time? So Vm for the second time is 4.8. It means that as we are increasing the amplitude of the modulating signal, frequency component is changing, beta component is changed. So that indicates that FM signal. FM signal itself indicates that if your modulating signal amplitude is varied, your FM signal or the output of a particular modulated signal frequency varies. If modulating signal is positive, the frequency will increase. If modulating signal is a negative quantity, frequency will decrease. Okay, so this is one example. Now one more we will discuss. Okay, so for this class, this is the last question what we are going to discuss. As it is given, an unmodulated FM transmitter power is given by 100 watt. Okay, so this 100 watt is the total power is provided, transmitted power. So this total power is transmitted with the help of FM transmitter with modulation index that we will discuss. It is observed that strength of first order segment is 0. Strength of first order segment is 0. Find the power of carrier frequency component, total segment power for the first, total second order segment power, and these are the components are given. Here J suffix 0 means it is the zeroth order, means frequency component, carrier frequency component, and this 2.4, 3.8 and 5.1, these all are called modulation index beta. Similarly, it is the first order J1 and these all are modulation index. Similarly, J2, these all are second order and these all are modulation index. So first of all, we need to determine the first order sideband. Okay, from that we will identify the beta and then we will identify the carrier component power, available power in the carrier component or power content in the carrier component. Okay, so as it is given, transmitted power is 100 watt. Done. So this 100 watt is depend upon the unmodulated carrier. So as it is written, an unmodulated FM signal power is transmitted as 100 watt. Unmodulated means it is a carrier power. Okay. So here I will write PC is equals to 100 watt, which is equals to how much? It is AC square by 2R, or you can say it is called AC square by 2. So A is equals to root over of 200. Done. So AC is equals to root over of 200 and the first order is given as it is given. The first order sideband is 0. First order sideband is 0. So what I will write? AC J1 of beta divided by 2 is 0. Done. Now here we need to determine this beta value. Now J1 beta is equals to 0 because 2 into 0 is 0. AC is also 0. Now here we will see in this table J1 of beta when it is equals to 0. J1 of 2.4 is 0.3. No, it can't be done. J1 of 3.8 it is 0. Yes, it is 0 and other is negative. So that means here I will say the beta value is 3.8. Okay. So this beta value 3.8 will help us to determine the carrier frequency component, power available in the carrier frequency. Okay. So before that, I am representing the frequency spectrum so that it can be analyzed. So it is Fc plus F1 and it is Fc plus F2 even. Similarly, odd will have the negative frequency Fc minus F1 and the even will have the positive Fc minus F2. This will be my AC by 2 or J naught of beta I can write because this is the first combination. Then this one is AC J1 of beta by 2 AC J2 beta 2 divided by. Similarly, this one is minus AC J1 of beta by 2, and this one AC J2 of beta. This is the spectrum. So first time sideband, one sideband is 0, but other sideband we need to calculate. So first we need to calculate the power content in this carrier. So power content in this carrier, how we are going to identify the power available in this? It is AC square J naught square of beta divided by. It is only the squaring of the amplitude. So how much it is? AC is how much? AC is 200 AC square. So it is 200 into J naught square of beta. So J naught square of beta is how much? J naught square of beta is 3.8. So J naught is 0.4. So here it is 0.4 whole square divided by. So it is 200 into 0.16 divided by 2. So this is 100 and this will become as 60 watt. So this is the power content in the carrier. Done. Now here it is identifying what is the total sideband power. Total sideband power. So as we know, transmitted power is equal to carrier power plus sideband power. So sideband power 100 watt minus 16 watt, because power content in the carrier is 100 watt, what we have seen, and the sideband power will become as 84 watt. Done. So this is our second question is also over. First is also over. Now we have to see what is the second order component sideband power. So second order component sideband power, how we are going to represent? Let's see. So sideband power for second, it is AC square J2 square of beta divided by 2R plus AC square J minus 2 beta divided by 2R. So here we can take this AC square divided by 2R common, and J2 square of beta plus minus J2 square of beta. As we know that the power content available in these two are same, so here I will write AC square divided by 2R twice of J2 square of beta. So 2 will be cancelled out, so it is AC square into J2 square of beta. So AC square is how much? 200. J2 square of beta. Here beta we have identified, it is 3.8. So here I will write 3.8. So J2 of 3.8 is 0.2. So here it is 200 into 0.2 whole square. So how much it will be? 200 into 4 divided by 100. So it is 8 watt. Done. So like this, you need to proceed, or you need to solve the other questions which is related to the WBFM and NBFM signal. So for the time being, we will wind up. So this is the power content for the sideband of second power. In the next class, we will discuss about two numericals regarding the NBFM signal and WBFM signal. Here we have discussed the WBFM as well as NBFM. Next class we will discuss about the generation of WBFM using NBFM with the help of Armstrong method. Okay. Thank you.